It's me, Jodianne. Welcome back to my channel. This is your reading for September. We are heading into the harvest season. The harvest season began with Latmas, and now we are well into it. So these cards are for you going into September. Now, September for me always feels like just that harvest season where we're gathering everything, we're getting back to routine after all of the chill days of summer. So we're going to have a spread for you. I'm going to look at the 4 different elements. So I'm going to give you a message from the air, from the fire, from the water, and from the earth, and then an overall spirit message as well, taking you into the autumn season. Okay, so I've already shuffled, but I'm just going to pause this while I pull the cards. So right away, looking at the cards that we pulled, balance is going to be very, very important, okay? The first card we have is this 2 of coins. So that is your message from air. So when we're talking about balance here, we're talking about air, which is the element of the mind, right? Air rules our thoughts, our voice. So when we're looking at this 2 of Pentacles or 2 of coins, you need to very, very much pay attention to what is going on in your mind. You have been juggling a lot. I feel like all of us had a lot come up this summer. We've had a lot of big things going on, and right now Mars is looking at going retrograde, right? So we are in a Mercury retro shade, and Mercury rules our mind, and Mars is going to retrograde this fall. So what is going on in your mind and the way your thoughts could potentially run away from you is very important. So really use your skills of managing your thought process. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to when your mind wanders. Pay attention to when your mind is not always being kind to you. What kind of messages are you giving yourself? Where's your thought patterns going? Track these things. It's going to be very important going into September, especially because September is about getting back to school. Even if you're not a school person or a parent, it is about getting back into routines, getting back into the flow of things. Pay attention to what your mind is saying to you about that and where you can add balance. What's interesting is the next card is in the fire position. It's the high arcana, it's justice, and you can see it also highlights balance. We have the scales of justice. So our mind needs balancing, and so does our fiery actions. So fire rules our passions, it rules our will, and it often is how we show up externally to others. So sometimes in our mind, internally, a lot can be going on, and externally, we're cool as a cucumber. This justice card and the need for balance here is telling us that we are not cool as a cucumber outside. There's a lot of things going on for us, and we need to bring balance between our minds and our actions and our wills. Sometimes we're going to want to act out, or our temper, especially with Mars doing what it's doing, our temper may get the better of us. So we want to make sure we balance things and go to that almost detached place of Lady Justice, where instead of ruling everything and instead of making decisions based on our heart and on our desires and where we're being pulled, to make our decisions in a much more level-headed and balanced way, to act from a place of levelness and balance. Lady Justice is blind. Here, even both aspects of her, the light and the dark, are blind. So we want to make sure we are using our logics, right? Relying on our inner truth to guide us, not our feelings and just what we see and want and desire. Okay, now the next card is coming from water, and we have the Four of Cups. So into September, with all of this stuff going on where we're balancing, the Four of Cups tells us to make sure we are checking in regularly. It is a card about going internally, seeking internally. The Suit of Cups is already about emotion, right? The cups is water. Water is our emotion. So we have an emotion suit coming from an emotion element. Deep introspection as we go into the fall. I feel like this card is telling us what our winter is going to be like. I feel like our winter is going to be a very deep, reflective winter, because water is asking us already to start the process of reflecting on where we are, where we've been, and where we're going. And I know a lot of us have had those things come up this summer. This summer, a lot of us kind of tied a little bow on chapters of our lives, re-looked at some of our deep issues that hadn't come up for a while. So know that this fall, there's going to be, not the whole time, but when we do go internal, it's going to be deep. Okay? Just know that the days where you just can't even, you really will not be able to even. Okay? And you're really going to need that nurturing of the self. And you're really going to need to go introspective, go deeper than the surface. Fours are about stability. And when you combine that with the element of water and with the emotion, we're talking about rooted patterns, stable patterns, things we may not look at a lot, we could be diving into this fall. And it really does feel like, it really feels like this is a prep for winter when we go internal. That tells me that this is going to be a very reflective winter when we get there. Okay, so the last card we have is in the space of the earth. And from the earth element, we have this beautiful queen. Now it is the Queen of Swords. So again, we're highlighting that air element. And one of the things about the Queen of Swords is her voice and how strong it is. So we were talking about balance both in the realm of air and in the realm of fire. And when we come to earth, the Queen of Swords is asking us to balance our speech, to really balance our speech. I find the Queen of Swords, when she shows up in a deck, especially in this deck, she talks about speaking wisdom. Her throat chakra is very open. And when she does choose to speak, her words are golden threads of wisdom. Now, if she speaks from a place of unbalancedness, her tongue can cut like a sword. Words have that double edge to them, don't they? So again, watch how we show up. This is in the element of earth. So in the realms that we walk day to day, not our emotional passion that fire rules over, or our internal landscape that air rules over, but in the way we walk out in the world, your words are going to be very important coming up this fall. How you speak to those around you and how you speak about yourself or to yourself will be very important. So when you put this all together, even if you look at that earth card next to that water card, when you find yourself speaking to yourself in manners that are not loving or compassionate, that's your cue to go deep into that four, into the introspection that Four of Cups is asking you to do, and rebalance that thought pattern. You got me? Okay, I'm going to pull one more outcome card. Okay, now your message from spirit, or your outcome card, however you want to call it, in this 4-card spread. We have this beautiful King of Cups. So what does that mean when we put it all together? Well, I'm here to tell you. What you're being implored to do is to really come to the table with deep, deep compassion. Remember, cups are our emotions, and the King of Cups is one of the most balanced, loving, and compassionate cards in the court cards of the tarot. I find that he highlights the divine role of the divine masculine, the deep, compassionate space holder, the divine masculine who holds the space for the goddess. So your role coming up, what's being asked of you, is to enter into that space of deep compassion. Now that's going to be in many realms for you, okay? Always it's going to be about deep compassion for yourself, right? Going into that place where you have compassion for all the things that have been coming up. Remember we talked about this summer, a lot of us have been spinning and having lessons come up and different things come up that we haven't looked at for a while, and kind of finishing off some of our deeper work. So now you have a chance to have deep compassion for who you were at those times of your life, to hold space for yourself, to grow, to hold space for whatever it is that you are balancing, to have compassion for yourself as you learn the art of balancing your mind and balancing your fires. Okay? And remember, Mars is doing this beautiful dance. So everyone we come in contact with is feeling those same astrological pulls as we are. They are also experiencing Mercury retrograde. So deep compassion helps clear away any of the fiery sparks that don't need to be there. Because everyone is walking through this crazy world at the same time as us, and going through their own beautiful play of their own karmatic dance where they are the main character. So when you meet everyone with this place of deep compassion, it just makes everything more balanced this month. Okay, my love, that is your cards for this month. That is your September reading. I hope it helps you out. You can find me here where I talk tarot and where I am doing monthly readings. I also am doing deck reviews. So if you like this, please hit that subscribe button. It does help so much. I also have a podcast, The Witching Half Hour or So. I teach tarot on that podcast. I talk to influential people in the witchy woo and pagan world. So there's a lot on there for you too. So yeah, thanks guys. See you soon.